Welcome back to Sawyer Ridge Farm. I'm Jacob. So we are going to be actually harvesting our onions. Now, as you can tell, we have our rack here, and this is what we're going to be using to kind of dry them. We just got this thing kind of built. If you haven't seen that video, we'll stick it up here somewhere. If you're this is your first time seeing us and you're interested in this, we kind of just built this for this reason. Now you can see some of the onions here. We have already kind of picked them, and we'll go over into the garden and kind of show you some things you need to look at and things like that. But the reason why these are kind of already picked is because they were pretty much ready and they need to be pulled, because we did not want them, because this is one thing, if you don't pull them up, they can do this, is they start to kind of split. And we are trying to prevent that from happening. We kind of saw these ones and this one's splitting, so we're like, okay, we need to at least pull these ones up. And the rest of them, we're pulling all the rest of them up right now because they are ready to go. This rack we are going to be taking into my shop, because whenever you're kind of drying the vegetables out, you don't want them in the sun and the rain. So right now we haven't had any rain, but I think here soon we're going to be. So we're going to be taking this in there, and this is where the rack's going to be permanently. And while we're doing all this drying and curing things of that nature. So that's the reason why we're going to be moving it in the shop for now. And then now we're going to be going into the garden and getting the rest of the onions to put on here. And I'm real curious on how much this is going to fill it up, because like we said, we built this pretty big, so I'm real curious about that. But let's go in the garden.
Alright, so we are in our raised bed garden, and this year we did something a little different. You might have seen in previous videos, but if you're new to our channel, we did our onions on the perimeter of all of our raised beds. So we wanted to try that out. We've seen it from people do it in the past, and we wanted to try it out for ourselves, and it worked really well. We were very impressed with the results that we got this year, and we'll definitely be doing that again next year and years to come. But I want to show you just how big these onions, some of them got so big. I mean, compared to my hand here, the onions are huge. And these are all 1015, Texas 1015 onions, which is a yellow onion. But we're going to be harvesting all these today, like Jacob said earlier. But I want to take you down here and show you some signs of when you know it's time to harvest your onions. So come on down here and I'll show you. Alright, so I wanted to show you right here is a telltale sign that your onions are ready to harvest. Now keep in mind, I want to mention before this, you can harvest your onions at any stage in the onion's life. You can just harvest them when they're small bulbs, or just wait until they're completely, grown out. But right here I'm going to show you, this is when you know that you have to pick them, or they will either start splitting like you saw earlier from that one, or they will start rotting in the ground, and you want to be sure and pick them whenever you get to this stage. So when they start falling over like this, and the stems just kind of are real limp right there, and they start falling over, that's when you know it's time to harvest your onions. It's as simple as that. So when they start falling over, be sure and don't wait too long to come out here and harvest them. That's why we had to already harvest quite a few, because they had started falling over. But we're going to get these picked and show you how many we ended up with this year.
I think these onions are better than last year's.
Yeah.
this was a little bit of an experiment right here that we have. I actually planted some of these onions just straight in the ground in here. I tilled this area up. We had some extras. I just didn't want to throw them out, so I just threw them in here just to see how they would do. Now, as you can tell here, I've pulled up some. They're kind of a smaller bulbs. And here, let me pull this big one up right here. See what this one looks like. So you can tell right here that these are not really the size of the other onions. And I think one of the reasons probably is because this ground is kind of hard. You know, you probably need some good loose soil like these raised beds are. It kind of helps expand. These ones are you know, in this ground and it's kind of hard, so they probably can't expand very well. So that's kind of what I was thinking when we planted these. I really wanted to see if they'd grow, and if they did, how they would do. And so that's kind of what my conclusion is the ground's kind of really hard, and it just didn't let them grow a very big bulb in the essence. And maybe there was a little bit of, you know, the nutrients, didn't have as much nutrients to do that. So it's probably a variety of factors, but pretty cool experiment. And you know, we still get a little bit of onions, and so they didn't go to any waste, and we really like that. We don't like to waste anything around here, but pretty fun experiment for sure. So we got all the onions picked. We don't know exactly how many. We can't remember how many we exactly planted, but like we said right here, we got some red onions. Not a whole lot of them. We didn't plant a whole lot, but it's mainly just those Texan ones that we're going to put in. But now we're going to take them up into the shop where we put our drying rack. We're going to stick them on there. I'm curious to see how much it takes up, and then we're going to count all the onions, and we'll give you a final total of how many onions we actually got.
Alright, so we got them all counted, and we ended up with 263 onions. So we are very, very happy about that. Definitely way more than we had last year. We have lots of plans with these onions. You might think, how can a couple go through 263 onions? But we do plan on trying to give them away to family and friends. Like we did on the garlic, we're going to braid them up and try to sell some. And also, with whatever's left, we really want to make onion powder, because we go through a lot of onion powder. So we're going to try to dehydrate and make some onion powder out of a lot of this. But 263 onions, not bad.
Yeah, I think it came out to, like, is it 214 of the kind of the, is it Texas
1015s, I think is what they
that,
call it.
and then it was like 49 of the
red
kind of the
onion.
red onions. We didn't plant a whole lot of those, but we did. And we got kind of a variety of kind of sizes. Most of them are good onion size. We got some small ones, but those are good for stews and stuff like that.
And we can can with those too. I mean,
yeah.
I was telling Jacob earlier, it's okay to have different size onions. Sometimes you don't need a large onion for a recipe. It might just be you need a medium size onion. So
yeah, so it's really kind of good. We got a little bit of a variety, and we really like this rack. It didn't take up too much. It kind of got this whole level here, and we still have a little bit of room right here. Still have the whole bottom, and then once we get the top done, I think it'll work out pretty good. But I will be putting some more supports, you know, in the middle like y'all kind of suggested, and just some other bracing that I can do. I'll do that later, but I think the rack is really going to help us out a lot this year with drying everything, and we just really are liking it right now.
Yeah.
But as always, guys, got questions, leave them down in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications if you want to see our videos when they first come out. But take care, and God bless.
God bless.